What's up, fellow Age Groupies? Welcome back to another episode of the Age Groupies Podcast, part of the United WeCast Network. I am Mike Ergo, and along with my co-host Lindsay Hiken, we're here to talk to you about all things related to endurance sports from an amateur athlete perspective. We talk to you about how to have fun along the way and make this sport a little less intimidating. You all can follow the show on Instagram at Age Groupies, join our Age Groupies page on Facebook, and look us up by name, Lindsay Hiken and Mike Ergo on Strava. Check the show notes for how to spell our names. If you have any questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email us at agegroupies@gmail.com. And if you guys like the show, subscribe to it, leave a rating on iTunes, wherever you get your podcast, and share this with a friend. Today's episode, it's Lindsay and I making a couple big announcements of some big things we're involved in. All right, so this is going to be a fun one. Everybody, enjoy the show. Lindsay,
hey,
what's
Mike.
up? Good to talk to you.
Hey, how's it going?
It's
what's
good.
up today?
Well, we got some big announcements to tell. It was funny because we both kind of told each other this separately, but we're both part of something pretty cool, bigger than ourselves.
That is right. So exciting.
So
why don't you tell your news first, and then I'll tell mine.
Sure. So I am happy to announce I'm on the IRONMAN Foundation ambassador team. I'm an ambassador for the third year in a row. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It is a cool team with a lot of neat people. I met a lot of cool people on this team, a lot of people who have done really inspiring things, especially my friend Derek Fitzgerald. He's the first American to race Kona as a heart transplant recipient.
Holy
he did that
cow.
Thinking, how about that, right? So yeah, he runs something called the Recycled Man Foundation, who he goes around educating and inspiring people about, because he's also survived cancer, just because he wasn't busy enough.
Just FYI.
Yeah, exactly. Cancer and new heart. So
people can be so amazing. I mean, it's really awesome what people can do when they put their mind and heart and soul into it.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. I get to be part of this and continue the mission of the Gold Star Initiative.
Yes.
So it's exciting stuff. I'm stoked about it. So the Ironman Foundation has been pretty cool. It involves raising money for their community funds. They do a lot of natural disaster relief, but the thing, I think, as everyone knows, I'm most passionate about is the Gold Star Initiative and putting vets and Gold Star families together for a race to remember the fallen and giving both of them a chance to connect and to heal. So I get to continue that, which I'm just so stoked about, because even like I was running last week, and I decided that for my long run, I was like, I should carry the flag and train like I'm going to race. And a lot of people were really excited about that as it's going along. And I'm not always trying to jump into the spotlight. That definitely stands out.
Yeah.
But I realized this is not about me trying to get attention. It's about remembering someone whose life was lost serving the country. And this flag, I carried the streamer too for Nick Anderson. So I'm training with his flag, his streamer, and we'll be carrying that flag, not just 26 miles for Kona, but 140.6. I'm going to figure out a way to bring his flag and streamer along with me on the swim, waterproofed, then on the bike, and then on the run.
Wow.
So yeah.
Can you fold it up or have it in some sort of dry bag, or are you trying to fly that thing the whole time?
Most likely it's going to be in a dry bag for swimming, and then still folded for the bike. It would be way too dangerous the way the wind blows on that bike course.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
Yeah, I get blown around enough. I mean, even on a calmer day up there. So I thought about that. I was like, no, they would never let that, nor would I want to do that. But the swim, I have a couple ideas. So I haven't settled on anything yet, but
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah. So there's a possibility of the flag being flown during the swim, but I have to work out the logistics a little bit.
Well, and I think it'll be, besides being super inspirational to others and calling, attention and remembering this particular soldier, it's going to be helpful to you because like you're going to have that with you all the time, like physically with you. I think it'll be, not that you need extra motivation, but there's always like a dark moment during an Ironman, at least one, or if not multiple. So like to have that with you, I think would make it much easier to get through those dark moments of just like, okay, I'm.
Oh, you hit that right in the head because it makes it so much easier because it's easy to forget why. It's easy to forget sometimes why I race, or like in the middle of like when you're really hurting, like why am I doing this? Yeah. Especially during hard swim sets for me, but
well, also because it's part of the endurance experience. Overcoming the mental challenge is part of the endurance experience. And you and I've talked so much on this podcast about how being clear on your why for training and racing is such a key factor to success. And I don't just mean like a fast time, but I also mean like success in just finishing and success in keeping going when things aren't going the way that you'd like them to. And being an ambassador for Ironman Foundation obviously helps further your why, along with, giving back to the community and helping the foundation that does so many great things in the community. So like, I feel like we're very lucky because we have that clarity. I think that's one of the things I like about watching people who've never raced in triathlon before do their first like race, because they have a why. Their why is to just finish something that they didn't ever think they could do. And
exactly.
There's so much energy around that, so much positive energy around that. And, if we've been around for a while, it would be easy to just become very self-focused on your ranking.
Yeah, exactly.
And compare all the time to others. And for me, that would make it not fun, and it would make it something that I probably didn't want to keep doing, so.
Yeah, exactly. And, I get that there's a lot of people who get excited about that, but neither one of us are those people.
Yeah, we're not those people. I mean, hey, if I was like podium regularly, like at 70.3, and I just was such a badass and maybe I would be totally down with it, but I know that I'm not like about to podium. And it's not that I thought, oh, well, I wish I was fast, but I'm not, so I'm going to do this other thing. I think like, I know physically I could probably get faster than I am if my motivation was solely to get faster, but that's just not like what I'm motivated by.
Hey, Mike, did I ever tell you about the time I went to a popular cycling studio and it was super bizarre? I was dressed like regular scumbag trainer clothes and everyone else had on, matching Lululemon, full face of makeup. And the instructor kept yelling, "Ladies, let's dance," which I had no idea what she was talking about. I was like,
that's so weird.
Let's dance. Are we riding? Anyway, that all happened because I was trying to maintain cycling fitness during the winter.
Yeah, winter months are tough. Days are shorter. It's cold. It's rainy. Takes a lot of extra time to gear up, and a lot of those rides are going to get canceled anyways because it's going to be too dangerous outside. Anyways, I spent a lot of my time indoors training, even during the summer months, just because I got small kids and I want to get this training done early. I also love group classes, but I spend majority of my time training alone in my garage. That can be pretty boring. So we have a way for our listeners to make that training during the off season or during the winter months or whenever you want really exciting. CycleCast app provides studio quality classes for both indoor cycling and running.
Awesome. Who needs to see a bunch of other weirdos on spin bikes anyways? We need an instructor who has an ear for music that will get us hammering those pedals and a ride plan that keeps us engaged during long trainer sessions.
Yes, I finally tried it, and it's exactly what I got from CycleCast. So they use music through your phone in this app, which works for Android. It works for iOS, so it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have. It uses minimal data, minimal battery power, and it's your phone. You bring it everywhere you go. So you got classes from different instructors at different lengths. It doesn't matter what time of day or night you're doing it. You can do it all on your own schedule.
That's awesome. Plus, the running programs are both indoor and outdoor, which is huge for me as I train for Trans Rockies this year. I'm doing a combination of treadmill and trail, and the treadmill is about as exciting as the trainer. So this is definitely helping me make those sessions more engaging. And as our gift to Age Groupies listeners, we have an awesome promo. Go to cyclecast.com/activate and enter the code GROUPIES to get a 30-day free trial on top of the regular 7-day free trial. That's like 5 weeks of free stuff, y'all. That's cyclecast.com/activate, CYCLECAST. Don't forget to use the promo code GROUPIES, GROUPIES. Cyclecast. You're going to love where this app takes you.
I want to do as good as I can, but I've also got other things that drive me that are more related to what you and I are talking about in terms of the why. Which,
well, that's a good. Yeah, let's hear about. You got something driving you this year. I want to hear what that is.
Yeah.
Too.
So I'm also an ambassador, but not for the Ironman Foundation, but for another little segment of Ironman, kind of under that umbrella called Women for Tri, and the whole purpose of Women for Tri. Yes. So exciting. And the whole purpose really is to encourage and foster, women into the sport, because, for a long time it was a male dominated sport, and there can be some barriers just, for women thinking, I can't do all that. Like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. And especially from my perspective, women of color are incredibly underrepresented. I think people of color are underrepresented in triathlon, in the sport of triathlon in general. I mean, I tell you, like, Ironman has a lot of people on the course, and I saw like 3 of us out there total, like men and women, when I was out there at Santa Rosa, and we saw each other. We're like, hey, we out here with the white people. But, but, so for me, here's the thing. I have benefited so much in my life from becoming a triathlete. I mean, the community, the lifelong friends I've made, getting in touch with my own body and what I can do, overcoming fear, reaching goals that are like beyond what I thought my capabilities were. Like, all of those things have a lasting impact on my life day to day, not just like while I'm racing or while I'm running. And I truly think that anyone who participates gets those benefits or can get those benefits. So, for me to see women embrace this lifestyle as a way of, growing old gracefully and really loving yourself and learning to love yourself is important. And then particularly with women of color, this kind of athletic endeavor has not been, at least in the African-American community, has not been necessarily promoted. It's sort of like, if you can do a sport that might get you like a scholarship or something, then great. Otherwise, there's no point. And sport just for the sake of sports has not, I don't think always been promoted within the minority community. So especially around women. And but it's so important for us to, like, we know that when young women play sports, they are more confident. We know there's been so much research done around that. And so, and triathlon is something you can do lifelong, right? And so our goal with Women for Tri is to just really like diminish the primary barriers to entry, and to get like encourage and engage other females to come into the sport. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm excited about it.
What exactly does it involve? Like, what do you have specific goals or like tasks you have to do as part of it?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a social media component of it, which, that's a given these days. We do need to sort of center, like, pick a race. They had a list of races that we could pick. Of course, I did Ironman Santa Rosa, and sort of engaged in some efforts around there to increase like the participation, whether it be through just volunteering. It doesn't have to be racing. I'm not necessarily trying to get women to race Ironman Santa Rosa this year, although that would be awesome. But just to, maybe participate, spectate. I'm thinking of doing a social event around the race so that people who are kind of like, what, curious, like Ironman curious, what is it? What's happening? because people don't really know what it is. They're just like, all I know is that people are insane and they go really long and it seems ridiculous. I mean, they just don't know what it is. So doing stuff like that. I mean,
you've seen the memes we've been posting about like, nobody knows the difference between a 5K and a marathon and a triathlon. As long as they end with thon, it might as well be the same thing.
They're like, I don't want to know. I don't care to know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds exhausting. I'll be watching Netflix.
That's right. And then I'm going to promote, women's participation in triathlon, in conjunction with the Silicon Valley Triathlon Club. I'm thinking of a couple different ideas of, in terms of doing some socializing with women within the club, and let's bring more women into the, making something accessible, like a run with brunch type of situation where it's just like, hey, have you ever thought about doing something? Are you curious about doing it? Come out and we'll do like a nice, easy, shorter run that day and talk to you guys about it. And then the other idea that I had that I'm going to be working with one of the SVTC coaches on is doing a mid-year new to the sport with a women-focused race, like a local women-focused race, sprint or something like that. Because there's a couple that are easy to get to. They're right here in the Bay Area. You don't need to like travel. You just need to have like a Sunday morning available, and then do sort of a new to the sport training, like a 6 to 8 week lead up to it, and kind of encourage women to come in that way. And that I think is good because those little races like that you can go to, like you don't have to have a tri bike or even a road bike. You could have just like some sort of like hybrid or something. You don't have to be all out there with your teardrop helmet. Like,
oh my God. Yeah, exactly. That's probably one of the more intimidating things as you see, I mean, for anyone in general, but especially for, I mean, I'm guessing traditionally women who haven't been included as much, to see people with these space age bikes and teardrop helmets and
the suits, like, and the speed suits, and like I'm not getting in a speed suit. Like, are you out of your freaking mind? So, these are the things that I'm going to be focusing on just to help bring awareness to the sport and how it is not only open to women, how, it's beneficial for women, and sharing a lot about that. And there are so many, like, this is my first year doing this, and there are so many awesome women that they have chosen. I mean, this is a global initiative. So there are women all over the world that are participating in the Women for Tri movement. And I am intending to interview some of these women to share their stories, because they have different, I mean, there are women who are bringing awareness to triathlon for women of color in South Africa that are part of Women for Tri, which is pretty freaking amazing. So I want to bring some of them on, to our show and talk to them about their why. And hopefully, you can do the same with some of the foundation ambassadors. I think that'll be like, in line with our purpose. One of our purposes of doing this triathlon is this podcast is to shed light on your regular Joe who's doing, endurance sports, who's not an elite athlete, but just does it for the love of it in the community. So.
Oh, that's totally true. A thought crossed my mind is, although I can't relate to your experience on the race course, because there's plenty of, even in redheads, there's plenty of redheads, but I can pass for a normal white person too sometimes if I have a hat on.
Right. They can't see.
But exactly, especially if I'm clean shaven. But two experiences I had, one in China walking around.
Right.
Especially when I saw another, guy in the race course of European descent. Yeah, exactly. Well, so what's up, Guilo? Because I think that means ghost. and it's like a pejorative term for white people. But I'm taking it back.
That's right. That's the way to do it.
And then the other time was I was at a soccer game in Oakland Coliseum, and it was Mexico versus Paraguay. And
oh my gosh.
Intense, so like the most exciting sports event I've ever been to, even though I barely understood what was happening. But I walked around, no white people. I saw one white guy there the entire time. We looked at each other like, hey.
That's exactly what happens when I see another black person on the course. I'm like, we are out here.
We did it. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's pretty, and I think I've shared this before on the show, but that was the first year that they had the triathlon in Oakland, the Oakland Triathlon. I did the Olympic distance, and I was the only person of color on the I was the only Black person on the course. There might have been like some Asian people or something along those lines, but I was the only Black person on the course, and all of the community volunteers were from Oakland and they were Black, and I don't think they even knew like really what they were signing up to do or whatever, but they were, directing traffic and at the turnaround cones and that kind of stuff. And they would get so excited when they see me going. It was like I was the official representative, and I was like, I was a pro. I mean, because I would just be riding because there was loops, so they saw me more than one time, and they were just like, "Go, sister, so cool. Girl!" And it was it was the best. But up until that point, I don't think like it. The way, I don't think any of these people had actually seen a triathlon or knew what it was, or even thought like that. They're just kind of like, "Oh, that's some white people shit right there." And then here I come, and I'm like, "Not really. Anyone can do it."
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. It must have been awesome when you see the look on their face of kind of like the gears spinning of like, oh, maybe this is for everybody. Like maybe like you see their worldview change a little bit and maybe see possibility.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and I had to run around Lake Merritt, and it was like just applause the whole way.
That's cool.
It was like this wave of, and I was like, hate to disappoint. I'm coming in like 32nd place, but
yeah, but you're the people's choice. You're the fan favorite.
That was hands down. That was hands down like my favorite race in terms of just I left there on such a high, and it wasn't because of like doing particularly well or anything. It was because of that. Because just seeing their face go, oh my God, look at that. That's a Black chick. And then they would just be like, go, go, go.
That is so cool. I love hearing that. So you have
so fun.
Like two groups of people that you can inspire, both, the African American community and women to get involved in triathlon, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yep. And I think I can't think of two groups who could use the like sense of community and like the health benefits and the positive effect of like on the sense of self. Then minorities, Black, African Americans, and women. We as groups need that. We really need positive things in our life that reinforce like you are strong, you can do anything you set your mind to, you are a badass, and it doesn't really matter what like anybody else is saying or society is saying or anything. Like you have everything you need within you. And I feel like that's something I've gotten in touch for myself with doing triathlon, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you are an ambassador of that idea to share to other people. I think that's so cool. So
yeah, I'm stoked.
When you told me, I was so excited. I was legitimately excited because I was like, good, you were part of this because you should be. So congratulations.
Thank you. And to you too. And I'm really excited for this season and for all of the joy that you and I are going to spread through our ambassadorships and through the show. And, I will say a little caveat. If you're listening to the show and you're new to listening to it because we tagged our ambassadorships, and you're kind of curious about the rest of the show, we don't speak for Ironman. We just share our truths. And Mike and I have been known to go down the route of potty mouth, and we've also been known to discuss various aspects of racing openly, like that aren't what's the word I'm looking for, Mike? Like
civilized?
Yeah, exactly.
Culture?
So, they're true.
Things you wouldn't say in front of grandma?
Right. Just as an FYI, little disclaimer. We're just who we are, and that's how it is. So, just so you know.
Yeah. So, earmuffs, kids. Earmuffs.
Exactly.
Well, here's to a good season.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to not make this a long one because I think that, the announcements kind of speak for themselves, but I do want to ask you what you're doing this weekend in terms of your training.
Let's see. I got my butt kicked this morning on a nice swim set.
Nice.
And this weekend I'm doing a brick which for people new to this sport is biking and then running right afterwards because your legs feel like bricks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll be doing a 2-something hour ride and then probably just a 25-minute run, kind of a cool down, easy jog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
and then Sunday, just a easy, I think 1 hour light run in the morning. Yeah. What about you?
I am running and more running. I have my little Friday crew that I run with. And so I did that this morning. It was I did like almost just under 6 miles on trails this morning. And then tomorrow I have like a little strength workout and then another 6 miles. And then on Sunday I have another little mini strength workout and just 5 miles. So I'll be doing like 17 miles in the next couple of days, basically.
That's
today
cool.
to Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. You and Heidi are like master of the trails these days. I love the pictures.
That's my thing. I know we played hooky. Don't tell anybody. But
yeah. Well, no one will ever hear about this.
I mean, technically I was working from home, but I was on my lunch break. So,
Exactly.
It's all right. It's all good. Yeah. So running and, taking lots of pictures one of the reasons I put pictures on social media is besides just social media is that I want to be able to look back at this time when I'm old and be like, remember that time you ran up that hill super fast and now you're like walking and you have those sticks and one of those big hats on. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. So you can Uncle Rico it and be like, I'd probably throw a football over this mountain.
That's right.
No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Well, you got any challenges for our listeners this week? Any words of wisdom?
Ooh. Okay. Well, we've said this before, but I don't know if anyone took us seriously. But I think, not you don't need to do anything. You can do whatever you want. But I think that a good exercise as we're getting ready to gear into the season is to get clear on your why. Why are you racing in 2020? I mean, it could just be, hey, I want to go to this, I have an A race and I want a PR. I mean, that's fine. But is there a why that's bigger than you? Are you trying to inspire your own children? Are you wanting to stay healthy? Do you want to, lose some weight because it's causing, issues as you age? Do you want to inspire others to, like for me, I want to inspire others to a healthy mental and emotional and physical state through sport? Are you wanting to help veterans? I mean, what is your bigger than you why? Because of course, besides the lofty reasons that Mike and I have just laid out today, we both have our personal things. And to quote my friend Peggy, it comes down to vanity. Like I'm turning 50 this year and people keep saying, oh, I can't believe you look 50, you look so good. I want to continue that on that vein. And so I have those whys too, but what is your bigger why? Like,
what's your bigger why? I like it.
Yeah. Work that out for 2020, y'all.
Exactly.
And
I'll
feel free to share with us.
I'll give some practical advice. Everybody change your socks, drink water. Yeah. Okay. Change your socks and drink water. Keep it simple.
Awesome. On that note, bye y'all.
Bye.
Alrighty, that concludes today's episode of the Age Groupies Podcast with me, Lindsay Hiken, and my co-host, Mike Ergo. We really hope you enjoyed it. You can follow the show on Instagram at Age Groupies, join our Age Groupies page on Facebook, and look us up by name, Lindsay Hiken and Mike Ergo on Strava. If you have questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email us at agegroupies@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please leave a rating and review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, as this really helps us get more exposure while we try to grow this little venture. And of course, if you have friends you think might like the show, please be sure to share it with them. But for now, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.